Hello everybody, welcome back to another volume review. Now I would like to give a quick warning, I guess, before this video starts. You might hear my voice right now and it might sound a little bit fucked up, just a little bit. Allow me to explain why. If you had seen the community post on this channel, right, you know, I'd say about a week, might have actually been 2 weeks by now, ago, where I mentioned, I'm going to start reading again and all this shit and a bunch of other stuff that I will mention again later at the end of this video. I mentioned, we're going to start reading again and we'll get that volume review out as soon as the next, or not next, but more so as soon as the volume's finished, really, right? I did mention that, and that's what we're doing, really. I mean, this is the day after. I can't really get it in the same day, or else, we'd be uploading it at 8 p.m. at night, some shit. So, for a better method that, generally everybody can watch, day after, that works better, like we did last time. That said, though, reason my voice is fucked up right now, going back to that, 2 days after that community post happened, I got sick. Real fucking sick. Not horrible, but it wasn't great. My throat was not nice, and my nose was very fucked up. So, that was fun, and it's still kinda here, and that sucks, because I did a Bleach reaction on the React channel last week, and I mentioned on there, I'm like, you know what, hopefully by next week we're okay. We'll probably be okay, and we'll have a less fucked up reaction where I won't be sniffling as much. That might get fucked over, possibly. I might still be fucked up. I might have totally jinxed myself there. Anyways, I might have occasional sniffling here and there, and I would like to just apologize for that in advance. But yeah, that's about it. Let's get into the volume review. Okay, so, I'm gonna be honest. I don't have a lot to recap with this volume, because really, a lot of this volume is just catching up on characters and learning about what's going on. We learn about where, Rem's at, right, with Katya. I finally get to meet Katya. I'm, very happy about that. She's a character that, I was decently interested in knowing about because, related to Jamal, Todd's wife, all this, or fiance, whatever the correct term we want to use there is, right? And all this. And also, wheelchair, that there is, some relation to Ren there and everything. And I was kind of more so curious of, oh, was that something she, was it, a problem she was born with, right? Whatever it may be. Was it possibly something that happened during some incident, right? All that type of stuff. I was just a lot interested in her. But, we get to see them speaking to each other, which is pretty damn nice. Now I get to finally see more about her. I'm not sure if there's any side stories or anything relating to her. I mean, I'll find out when I, get to reading some more and everything. But, first time meeting the character is pretty nice. Then we see, what's going on with Amelia's group and everything, with, Priscilla and Yorna there. Priscilla and Yorna having the big fucking reveal of them being related, mother and daughter. That was pretty big, until they reveal the whole thing of, from what I understand, feel free to correct me in the comments, Yorna is Priscilla's mother in the sense that there's the whole Iris and the, throne thing. I don't remember entirely the name of it properly, but it was essentially some sort of commandment made that she will always, essentially take over a body, in a sense, or something like that, from what I understand, because she was, revived, but there was no vessel for it, so she takes over other vessels and stuff like that. That's the general understanding I have with it, and it's okay, that's where it comes from. So she's her mother without entirely being her mother, that type of thing. And it would also make sense of the whole ability that's there, right? The soul marriage. It would explain why Priscilla has soul marriage and all that. Then we see, you know, other groups such as, like, you know, the real Vincent and, what's his face? I don't remember. His name's really hard to remember, I'm not gonna lie, but the Prime Minister, right, as well as, Ubilk, right, they're all there speaking to each other about what's going on. You know, this war that's gonna be approaching them and everything, and how they're gonna deal with it in terms of defenses, all this. A lot of it is just, here's these characters talking for the chapters. I'm gonna be real, it isn't until the last, like, 5 or 6 chapters that we really see any actual, you know, action or anything happening there. A lot of it is just talking, which is fine. For the most part, I'll get into that in like later, but then we get to those, like, you know, last few chapters and everything, and we see some shit going on of, like, oh, Amelia versus Madeline again, right? We get to see them fight again. That's pretty cool. She calls down a fucking cloud dragon. That's weird, and I'm interested to learn more, right? I'm very interested. That's fucking cool. You know, it's weird, but it's cool. But that's that. There's Garfield versus Katma. Once again, Garfield gets to have a fantastic fight. Always makes me happy that he gets a good one. But then he gets, you know, interrupted later, or well, not interrupted, because the fight ends, you know, he wins, but he gets Katma out of there. He doesn't really want to kill him, or anything like that, or have him die. But then Ulbert appears and starts fighting him, and he's getting his ass kicked thanks to him. Other sides, you know, in terms of the other bastions, other people are fighting there. There's like Heinkel and the Shadarakians, like, at one side, as well as, you know, some others, like Jamal and all that, and Zyker's there, which is pretty great. It's great that, you know, Beatrice kind of, like, knights him in a way and everything, and all this, like, stuff. All of them help him out to encourage him to fight and everything. I actually forgot to mention, and I apologize about this, Beatrice, we get a really great moment there, earlier on during a lot of the talking and everything, that Beatrice and, like, you know, Otto, both of them, because essentially Vincent's group, the real Vincent, I might have said real Vincent earlier. If I did, I apologize. My brain got mixed up. But the real Vincent, you know, Abel, all that, shows up there and everything with his group, and Louis just so happens to be there. And as a result, Beatrice and Otto see Louis and, you know, like, start freaking out because they recognize her and everything, and they realize, wait, oh shit, shit that happened at Arc 6, right? Like, the person that they disappeared with, also at Arc 5, that person who, you know, was, like, fighting them, right, who randomly transformed into a little girl, all this, that's her. So, you know, that creates quite the tense scenario there. I won't lie, it took me a second to realize, because I was sitting there and I was like, why would Beatrice recognize her? And then I thought about it and I went, oh shit, right, she called to Otto first because they fought her. Oh, that explains a lot. But, like, yeah, it took me a minute to realize, but yeah, then I figured it out. But anyways, back to the battles and everything. So, you know, a lot of the bastions, they're, like, trying to make their way through and everything, because it's generally people there in each one. The fucking big metal dude, Moguro, is at one of them, which, like, you know, Heinkel and all of them are, like, advancing through, but, like, he appears there. He caused some problem for Heinkel, and Heinkel is just... I feel bad for him, man. Like, I already did, but I feel really bad for him here. He just... Oh, he just, like, really gets the shit end of the stick here. Yorna and Priscilla are fighting Arakia, and, you know, later on in the fight, or while all these fights are happening and all this, there's a big crystal cannon that's in the, you know, like, crystal city, all this, right, and it just is ready to fire a beam that will just absolutely wipe people out. Luckily, Beatrice is there. Incredibly weak right now, physically, not, you know, power-wise, but she's there. And she just removes any effect that shit could have had, which is real great. Only for her to start deteriorating, because she doesn't have much time left, because, you know, they have to get to Subaru quickly. She's in a very bad state right now. And, well, actually, before I get into the main thing, I almost also forgot to mention, Otto is currently helping out in terms of giving directions for what's going on and everything thanks to his divine protection. Petra helps him out with her Yang magic. She has Yang magic. That's pretty fucking cool. I can't wait to see what like future developments we get with that. And then Medium's also there, like just helping out in a way, asking for what's next, asking for what to report to Abel. Until out of nowhere, Todd shows up, and now they're going to have to deal with Todd. Now, back to what I was saying about Beatrice. Eventually, Louis just starts screaming and like trying to find out, you know, how she can fix Beatrice. Until all of a sudden, she looks in a direction, starts zooming, you know, all the way over there, right? The whole leaping type of thing she can do, and eventually makes it to Subaru, where Beatrice and Subaru get a really heartfelt reunion. I like it a lot. Now, I did a very small recap of these events and everything, and to be honest, it's mostly because not a whole lot really happens in this volume. There's a lot of talking, there's a lot of planning, there's a lot of, hey, here's the people like fighting and all this, right? Here's the war happening. Not a whole lot happens other than that. And if I'm gonna be honest, the pacing actually goes by pretty fucking quickly. A lot of events just go, and it's like, okay, well, here we are at this next point. Now, you might ask, is it bad? No, but I'm gonna be honest, this does show a problem I'm starting to have with Arc 7, and there's something additional to it as well. This is just going by these events. It almost feels like these events don't matter. They do, right? Like there's an obvious thing that matters there with them, but with the pace they're going at, it feels a little too quick. It feels like these are just small events. The biggest one I can point out is the Beatrice thing at the end. I love it, right? I love them having a proper reunion, but that shit goes by so quick. She stops that cannon, and immediately we are leaping, and then we get to him. And it's just like weird to me, because it's like, oh, okay, I thought there would be a little bit more build up here, but no, that's it. And it kind of sucks for that. And about that additional problem that I have, it's a problem that I had with, I think, the 5th volume of Arc 7, but it became very clear here. Shit just kind of happens sometimes in this arc. And more so what I mean with that is one of the biggest examples I can think of, specifically with this volume, is the Divine Generals, right? When we were first properly introduced to the whole deal with them, the general thing was, hey, if we have more, we win, right? That was the whole like spiel with it. So it made sense, like, because it was like, okay, so it's a race to see who can get more, and they were both decently even, right? Because we had Yorda, we had Cecilis, right? But like by this point in the story, Gauze, if he's still alive, he probably is, but if he's still alive, very easily would join, you know, Abel's side. Ulbert, there was a deal going on there, right? He was listening to what was being presented to him. So there was that too, right? It was essentially a race for a 5th, because also the fake Vincent side, there was like a decent bit supporting him there. So it was like, you know, a back and forth generally, and it could be like a proper race to the 5th. It would be interesting, right? Here's the thing. This war that is happening, listen, it's cool. I wouldn't have even minded it if we did get to that 5th, but there was still a war, right? Some shit like that. I wouldn't have totally minded it. There is a problem though. This war happening and everything, and just the general, oh, we're just gonna break into the city and take it over. This feels like we took out that point, right? That plot point. It is gone. It no longer exists. What Divine General race shit? No, this was just gonna be a war. It's weird to me, and it, like, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of ruins it, because it was really interesting from that angle. I was like, you know, I may have mentioned the fact in the past that this was taking a while to get to this proper point where we're both decently even with Divine Generals, but we made pretty damn good progress at this point. So I was like, oh shit, what are we gonna do from here? Having a war, like, I get in a sense why it happens. It's just like, man, what was the point with that? stuff, you know? It's like, I don't know, I did kind of want to see more about that than just having like all these battles take place and everything. And it's become the problem that I've realized with this arc of, I know this arc isn't planned and everything. And it sucks to say this because I'm, you know, the person who said like, oh, I'd love to have Gusteko as an arc and everything like that. That said, I also did say an EX novel would be fine, but still. But part of it is just the general thing of pushing an arc in there without proper planning and everything could easily fuck it up. And I mean, this technically would still support the Gusteko thing, right? If planned out, it could work, right? I'm not saying it has to happen, of course, right? Like I said, EX novel, very possible. Generally, that's just what I would like. But focusing on Arc 7, pushing an arc in there because you made a lot of cool characters and everything isn't really going to work super well, right? Overall, like, it could, right? Some proper, like, planning and all this shit. In fact, I think the first 4 volumes and the 6th volume, right, like, volume right before this, shit was fantastic, right? Maybe not the first 2. The first 2 were pretty good. They weren't insane, but I think the 3rd, 4th, you know, number 6, all that, fantastic. But 5 and this one are just evident to me of like, yeah, not all of this is great, and I hate to say it, in a way. I mean, I'm not trying to say this as a bad thing towards Arc 4. Once again, I really like Arc 4. I think some people may have seen where I put it on the list or some shit, or may have heard me say it's in my opinion, the lowest of the big arcs, and just assumed I hated Arc 4 or I disliked it. I don't. I really do love Arc 4. I just think it's the lowest for me. That said, with the way Arc 7 is headed, it could end up the lowest for me. I'm going to be honest, if Arc 7 does not finish within the next volume and doesn't, you know, wrap up a whole bunch of plot holes and everything that are there, or maybe not plot holes, but just plot lines that are there that could end up becoming plot holes if they're not wrapped up, right? That type of thing. We could have some problems there. We could have some real problems. And I mean, we could get 2 more volumes and I could be fine with it. But all I'm saying is, if we get the next volume, and you know, it wraps up some things nicely, right? It does things well. I like that, right? And I'll still put it above, but it's a bad sign for, you know, things to come. And there's a chance that it could end up lower because of that, because we couldn't, like, wrap it up within, you know, some sort of set period of time with having a proper, you know, general plot there, like, you know, when compared to the whole get the Divine Generals, if it's just like the war and all this shit, and it takes this long, like, damn, at that point it would be, what, like 9 volumes? It's kind of sad to think about that we might reach that point. I still think Arc 7's pretty fucking good, right? I still like it a lot. I know some people don't really like it, especially, you know, with the point we're at now. But I still think it's pretty damn good. I just feel that we could be better here. We could be way better. But, yeah, that's the volume. And for those who, you know, have watched a lot of these ReZero videos, or even a few, however many you may have seen. Even if you're new, I feel like this message is pretty damn important. But especially for the first 2, right, I feel like this message should be heard. If you haven't seen the community post I made, I'm going to make it clear once again with this video. So, I have some slight bad news. Not entirely bad, right, there's still good out of it, but some slight bad news. We've done the volume review now, right, here it is. I mentioned with the Arc 4 video, though, that my general plan was to get to that point with Arc 4, right, and the tier list and all that, and then from that point onward, we do volume reviews as they come out, and like EX5, like the EX5 review will be part of the full part 2 of Arc 7. So as long as Arc 7 is done, right, when we get to that final volume, then you'll actually get the EX5 review. All that stuff, right, pretty damn good, right? Still going to be doing ReZero reviews, obviously, right, as stuff comes out, as I want to talk about more stuff, right, theories that I may have, all that, right, there'll still be stuff on the channel, regarding ReZero, right? Like I said, it's not leaving the channel. But you might see the way I'm wording this right now. We're going to be slowing down with ReZero stuff on the channel. It should be obvious I'm not really a ReZero YouTuber, right? You can view me as that, I don't mind, right? You can tell people that and everything, you, like, whatever you may, you know, want to do with that. But I don't mind it, right? However, I won't really consider myself that at any point. I've tried to do specific content regarding things twice in the past, and I got burnt out both times. I don't really know why I tried it twice, but I did. But yeah, I don't really like sticking to one thing. I like doing a lot of variety stuff. And, you know, that's the general focus with the channel. You may have also actually noticed, if you looked at the channel, a lot of videos have disappeared. They haven't disappeared. We have a second channel, which is weird to say because I know there's multiple channels at this point. Neab's Box isn't even really a second channel, technically. It's just me posting funny little videos there, and that's about it. It really doesn't even have that much of a connection to this channel, other than I manage that. That's the real only connection it has. But the proper, true second channel to this channel, Noib, a card there in case you're interested, that will focus on, you know, stuff I do with friends, right? The gaming type of stuff, all that, and everything. Not including streaming. Streaming all will still happen here. So, you know, that still stays here, along with the rating the supers, because I feel like the rating the supers have a certain artistic type of style to them that fit the channel more, like the big content type of stuff more than the general, here's us playing Mario on Parsec and we fucking suck, right? Different feel there. But with the main channel now, I'm going to be more so focusing on a lot of big videos. So, you know, stuff like the reviews, all that, the videos where I talk about stuff for giving it, like, you know, certain seasons of the month, all that type of shit. Maybe not the month, but more so, you know, the year. All that type of stuff, the get-intos, right, the big projects I want to work on, all that is staying here. Now, that said, right, obviously, certain things are going to slow down in terms of, like, ReZero content and everything, because I don't have as much as I can, like, review, right? I'm not really going to review side content and all that, like, the side stories. Obviously, EX is no problem, but, like, side stories are a bit weird to review. I don't really want to constantly do just ReZero content here, right? As much as I'm sure a lot of you love it, and I really do love entertaining you all with these reviews. You guys really do seem to enjoy it, and I greatly appreciate that. Right? It means a lot to me. I do these stuff to essentially, like, you know, entertain all of you, and not really for my own sort of benefit and everything. I guess it is technically my own benefit. I'm entertaining you guys, but you know what I mean. But I do want to focus on a lot of the other content on the channel, especially because next year there's a lot of really big stuff I want to work on, and I think it's going to take a while. So overall, I want to focus on that. This will slow down a bit until, of course, the next volume comes out. We'll get the review up the day after, as per usual, right? That type of thing. Like I said, EX5 and the full Arc 7 video, all that. But we will be slowing down a bit there, so I apologize for that. I don't mind if you want to just stay here for the ReZero content. Totally fine with me, right? People have done that before. It's fine, right? I honestly don't even mind if you essentially just leave the channel as a result. It's fair still. I could understand the, you know, the result of that and everything. But yeah, I just generally wanted to relay that message for this, because not everybody, of course, is going to check the community section. YouTube might not even recommend that post to you, so kind of sucks in that regard. That's on YouTube, really. But yeah, that's about it for that. But anyways, yeah, I guess that's the end of the video. However, we have a teaser to do for the next Get Into, and well, I guess the easiest way to summarize it is, let's go devil hunting, peeps.